Hey everyone, this is PrinceBrightstar, and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Stormblood. So, today, patch 4.56 released. This contains the last bit of the main scenario quest for Stormblood, and this is going to lead us into Shadowbringers. So, let's see what the main scenario quest has in store for us today here. And we are starting off with a quest called A Brief Reprieve. Ah, Prince, yours is a welcome face indeed in these troubled times. Though if you've come to inquire about our stricken brothers and sisters, I am afraid I have naught to report. Coltant and the others continue their tireless search for answers, and I too have done all in my power to assist them. Alas. My apologies for the intrusion. I was told Master Alphino had been brought here, and wished to see if his condition had improved. Master Prince, I have heard about the part you played in driving back the Empire's forces. Thank you. That you were able to stop them, if only for a short while, gives me hope. I realize how strange such words must sound coming from a Garlean's lips, but I speak them out of the love I bear for my homeland, because I wish to see an end to the bloodshed. That is why I chose to share all that I know with the Alliance. Though I will surely be branded a traitor, I am content to bear that ignominy. 'Twill seem a small price to pay if it helps to prevent this conflict from escalating any further. But enough of my prattling. The war is not what brought me all this way. I came to see Master Alphino. An acquaintance of Prince and Alphino, are you? Well, far be it from me to turn away good company, if you will follow me, sir. When word reached me that Alphino had returned, it seemed only right that I visit him. Poor lad, it pains me to see him thus, but I take solace in the knowledge that he is safe and well cared for. He fought valiantly at the burn. The Populares could not have wished for a more committed ally. I know not how he came to be so afflicted, but I pray a cure will be found soon. On an unrelated note, you may be interested to know that I have traveled here in the company of another acquaintance of yours. He awaits my return at North Silvertier, and I am certain he would be glad to see you, assuming you can spare the time, that is. Alright, and with that we are off to North Silvertier. Now, if I had to guess, it's probably going to be Sid, but let's see. I see an airship! Maxima. Ah, there you are. I was beginning to think you would not come. Can I guess it or what? It sounds like you've been through the mill. You should have called me. Though I must confess, tracking down missing souls isn't exactly within my field of expertise. As you may have surmised, I heard much of Master Garlon growing up in Garlemald. Indeed, he has long been a source of inspiration to me. Most Garleans would say he is a traitor, that he turned his back on his country. We of the Populares, however, consider him a revolutionary, a man willing to defy the Empire's dreams of subjugation, that his inventions might bring about a better future for all mankind. Please, revolutionary is a term best reserved for my work. I am but an Imperial defector who thought to aid another Imperial defector. Whatever Master Garlon says, I am humbled to find myself in such distinguished company. Speaking of distinguished company, we heard from Rauban that you ran into an old friend in the burn. Is it true? Gaius still lives? Like most in the army, I never had the privilege of seeing the legatus without his mask. To think I walked halfway across the burn in the presence of the Black Wolf. And he claimed to have severed ties with the Empire to hunt Ascians, did he? After his humbling at the Praetorium, one would think he'd have the good sense to stay dead. Should we meet again, I shall be sure to tell him so. Commander Alden also spoke of the Alliance's meeting with the Emperor. Though I still labor to believe what he told us. Did His Radiance really claim that Garlemald was founded by the Ascians? But that is madness. The very notion is absurd. Every fiber of my being rails against it, and yet I see there is no escaping the truth. From the very founding of my homeland, my brothers and sisters have laid down their lives in service to a lie. The Ascians must be stopped. To save my people, to save all peoples. For all the Empire's crimes, even I did not suspect. Had I known, I would have left a lot sooner. But that is in the past. Here in the present, we must apply ourselves to the problem of how the Empire's ambitions may be thwarted, not only in Eorzea, but in the Far East as well. The Ironworks will spare no effort to achieve that end. Seriu's wall was a good start, but we can do more, and we will. We'll show them what it means to achieve freedom through technology. Begging your pardons, I bear a message for the Warrior of Light. Commander Alden requests your presence at the Alliance headquarters in Alamigo. He would discuss matters of strategy at your earliest convenience. Ah, yes, the inevitable messenger. I knew it wouldn't be long before duty called you away. Time no doubt being of the essence, could I tempt you to a ride aboard the Excelsior? If there's a faster way to Rauban's side, I will personally apologize to the commander for keeping him waiting. Well, there is always the Aetherites. I swear, every time you board my airship, you seem to be barreling headlong into danger, and with every time, you somehow contrive to emerge victorious. Which, of course, is an admirable skill. But no one is invincible, Prince, not even you. So please, take care of yourself out there. I pray you remain safe on the front lines, though ill-equipped to join the fray. I shall do all I can to assist from headquarters. My colleagues and I have been tasked with evacuating casualties by air. See that you aren't among them, eh? Okay. And so... yeah, right now we are out in the locks. let's speak to the Resistance fighter. A Requiem for Heroes. Commander Alden is waiting, sir. It would be best if we proceeded to the Alliance headquarters at once. Are you ready? Let's do it. Okay, so this takes us into the dungeon that we went through last time. Over here we have Raban. He's glowing, which means we've got ourselves a trial on our hands. Let me just pop a little something first, and we'll head on in. You're here. Good. I summoned you to discuss strategy, but first I would apprise you of the Garlean's movements. Upon speaking with Raban, several cutscenes will play in sequence. I was waiting for this to come up! It is recommended that you set aside sufficient time to view these scenes in their entirety. Let us proceed.
There have been several skirmishes along the border, but as yet neither side has delivered a decisive blow. We had long assumed that the Garleans would overwhelm us in a straight fight, but we seem to be gaining ground, albeit slowly. As to why that might be, the most likely explanation is that they have yet to commit all their forces. Still, we're winning, and our latest intelligence suggests the Emperor has retreated back to Garlemald. In light of this, we're considering launching an offensive with the aim of pushing the front line forward and giving ourselves some room to breathe.
Commander! The Imperials! They've broken through our defenses to the east!
What?
Our scouts say their forces are being led by Lord Xenos. Lord Heian and Commander Hext have taken their troops to provide support, but we don't know how long they can hold out.
Now, once again, as a reminder, as far as we know, Xenos is being controlled by an Ascian at this point.
So, they've been biding their time, waiting for his arrival, have they? Very well. Send word to our allies, requesting reinforcements for the front line. Should the worst come to the worst, I may need to enter the fray myself. But what of you? Do you still have the strength to fight?
Of course I do. You need only say the word.
Much obliged. Given the choice, I'd take you over 100 soldiers.
Oh, here we go.
They open. Please, I bid you open.
What's wrong? Is it the voice again?
Yep.
Are you sure you're in a fit state to do this?
I'm good until I collapse.
May Ralga grant us strength. Give 'em hell, lad. I, for my part, will defend this place to my dying breath.
Meanwhile, at the border of Alamigo. Oh, is this a roleplay? Yes, indeed it is. Alright, so... Kyokufu? Delivers an attack with potency of 180. Ajisai is a dot. That's instant, and second wind gives us some healing. Alright, let's get this going then.
Ready? This one's for you, Ada.
It's kind of straightforward having only 4 buttons to work with, but I guess it works in the end. Okay, now it's starting to get a little complicated here. So I am still nowhere in sight. Hoping that second wind comes up soon. Spread. Alright, I am unable to break out of this.
Here it comes.
Thank you, Lise.
The weave of a shinobi's power. The art of my forebears.
A quad level 3 limit break. Nice. Alright, we gotta get into here. Take the hit. Alright. Hey, Joey. Spread. Alright, I'm gonna need some healing here. Thank you, Lise. Alright, look for where they fall. Oh. Looks like we made it. on, you're a shinobi. You should know to keep your mouth shut before the attack.
Damn you!
Nice punch there, Lise. Looks like everyone's down.
Magic? With a Garlean body? That's hardly fair. Still, he must be stopped, no matter the cost.
Ah, bringer of light. It has been too long.
You're not who you say you are, though.
No words to mark our reunion? So be it. Equilibrium must be restored, and only your death will redress the balance.
Alrighty, here we go. Triple. Uh-huh. We've seen that before. The name escapes me, but it was towards the end of A Realm Reborn, in terms of that content. In the, I think it was like patch 2.4, 2.5, we fought this guy. Whoop, oh. Okay, I see the pattern he's going for there. Nice try. Nice callback. I never went through it myself, but those little tentacle animations there were actually from Ultimate. Oh, what was it called again? It was from one of the Ultimate fights, the second one. The Ultima fight. That's what I'm thinking of. Just about have this imposter down. And down they go.
Your mother chose her champion well. Yet, for all your strength, you will still fail.
Please, I beseech you.
During the battle.
Someone calls to you. Too late, alas.
So here we have a representation of the shards.
At last, I found you. Please,
Elegant.
there's no cause for alarm.
That's an elegant scepter you're holding there.
Though, I confess, this is not where I had intended to meet. But the place of our meeting is of no consequence. like the war you wage. Win or lose, the path you walk leads only to oblivion. The better path leads you here, to me. I have need of your strength.
Who are you? Honestly, I think we already know who this person is. They wield elegant technology. Somebody that was looking for us, so they would have met us already once before. There's only one person that we know that we had basically lost contact with long ago. Grahatia.
I'm afraid such questions will have to wait. We have precious little time, and your work is not yet done. Go to the Crystal Tower. I have left something for you near its base.
And the fact that you say the Crystal Tower pretty much confirms it.
It will serve as a beacon of sorts. One which I pray will help you on your journey. All you need do is find it. I will take care of the rest. Soon, we will throw wide the gates. And the path to the first will be yours to walk at last.
The first shard. So who recovered us?
You're awake. Thank heavens.
What happened?
Do you recall the confrontation with Xenos? You were the first to come to the aid of Mistress Lys and the others on the front line. In the midst of your duel, it is said you faltered, and that the Crown Prince seized the opportunity to deliver a mortal blow. Yet before his blade could find its mark, he was distracted by the arrival of a second adversary who bore you away from the battlefield and into the hands of our chirurgeons.
The former legatus.
Lest you wonder, he left before you awoke. As is his wont. Estinian never was one for emotional farewells.
Ah, Estinian. Okay, I'll take that.
Though Xenos bested all before him, the battle clearly took its toll, for he retreated shortly after your rescue. Seeing this, the remaining Imperial forces decided discretion was the better part of valor and pulled back, allowing us to re-establish our position. We have since received word of renewed unrest in the provinces, doubtless inspired by the efforts of the Eorzean Alliance and our Far Eastern allies. Nor does the good news end there. We have also come into possession of intelligence suggesting unrest within the Imperial Court. This would certainly explain why both the Emperor and Lord Xenos appear to have abandoned the fight. A long-awaited ray of hope in these dark times.
Should we push forward then? Is Alisei alright?
Yet to awake, I'm afraid. But please, concentrate on your own recovery for now. You have carried the hopes of some half-dozen nations, and we are all eternally grateful for your efforts. But no one is without their limits, not even you. Leave this fight to us, my friend. You have earned your rest. But before I forget, I was asked to deliver a message as soon as you awoke. A reminder that you are not alone, though many of your allies have fallen. When you are well and rested, you are to return home, where friends will be waiting for you. Now, if you will excuse me, I must return to the front. May we meet again soon, under happier circumstances.
Best of luck in the fight. Well, this is a most unexpected surprise. I thought you confined to bed. When I heard that you had collapsed on the field of battle, I confess I feared the worst. But with you standing here before me, I see now that the reports of your defeat were greatly exaggerated. Thank the Fury. As long as we have you, Master Brightstar, history suggests we have a fighting chance. Speaking of fighting, you may be surprised to hear that the war's effects can already be felt even here in Ishgard. In anticipation of a need for reinforcements, Artoriel will soon be departing for the front lines with a contingent of our finest knights. I would advise you to stay until your strength had recovered, but I know it would be an exercise in futility. Indeed, I suspect you have already decided on your next destination. Dark days lie ahead. Of that I have no doubt, but the light of hope shall ever guide our steps, so long as we have the will to press onward. And press onward we must. Farewell, my friend. I pray our next meeting will be under happier circumstances. Okay. So, the battle essentially drew down to a draw. Dr. Merlot, welcome. Chocolate milk? No, I am not a fan of that. Let's see. So, we need to make our way back over to Mordona. And we have something we need to go collect. Unless we're actually not supposed to collect that just yet. Yeah, it says the return to the Rising Stones. Kind of odd that they would say it's waiting for us. Let's just go check it out real quick. So here we are at the entrance to the Crystal Tower. And I do not see anything waiting for us here, so... in that case, let's make for the Rising Stones.
By the 12! I don't believe it! I rushed back as soon as I could. I swear, my heart nearly stopped when I heard you'd collapse like the others. What in heaven's name is going on?
Evidently, there's something bigger going on.
Win or lose, the path you walk leads only to oblivion. Oh, well, that's helpful. And what else did he say? The better path leads to him? If his is the voice you've all been hearing, perhaps the others are with him. Sir Emmerich said the fighting had reached a stalemate, didn't he? But if that monster masquerading as Xenos comes back... Thancred, Yestola, Urianger, Alphino, Alize... you're going to need all of them on your side to defeat him. And I forbid you from going to face him on your own, do you hear me? So if you must leave, go and find the others. Bring them home. As for where to start, you said the stranger had left a beacon for you at the Crystal Tower, right?
Yep.
But how are you to find it, now that the tower has been sealed shut? There has to be a way. If anyone would know, it's Sid, and the researchers of St. Coinac's find. Don't you worry, we'll find that beacon for you.
Meanwhile, in the Imperial Palace.
I pray you have good reason for abandoning the front.
How could I remain there while the rumor that my son is possessed by a demon spreads like a sickness here at home? I will not be made to fight for the throne a second time. But what of you? Did you not tell me you would destroy Eorzea's champion with the ease that one might swat a fly?
A minor setback. He will not escape me again. Where is your grandsire? I would have words with him.
How should I know? Do you hide from each other's sight as well? I imagine he's doing what all Ascians do.
He must have found a way to take advantage of this turmoil.
Men are not pawns to be played with, Ascian. You underestimate us at your peril. This war will not be decided by you and yours. Man must choose his own fate, and I, for my part, will do all within my power to see Garlemald emerge victorious.
Pray forgive the intrusion, Your Radiance, but the requested preparations are now complete. We stand ready to begin production of Black Rose upon your order.
Okay, that is sounding like credits here, so I'm gonna go ahead and try to skip through this. Okay. So, what we learned in the last moment there, I believe, was in fact the fact that, that he is also a half-Ascian. The fact that he has been fighting for mankind, and yet he also still has that darker side in him. We haven't actually seen what he's able to do here, but we will know for certain in the future, I'm sure. But with the way things are shaping up for the next expansion, we're probably not going to see that until sometime after the expansion, whether that be in post-patch content or in whatever the expansion is after Shadowbringers. And really, I reiterate the same question I asked last time. Why is it that they are arguing with each other if he couldn't just simply be possessed by yet another Ascian? And the only way that could happen would be if he was a half-Ascian to begin with. Anyway, let's speak to Tataru, and let's, I guess let's finish this up here. I knew you'd be alright. And to celebrate your return, I made you this. A brand new traveling outfit. Oh, I do hope it fits. But now is not the time to fuss over your measurements. I must go and speak with the researchers of St. Conach's find. You go and rest while we track down that beacon. Alright.
My enemy. My friend. Had I been but a step faster.
That being the real Xenos.
Bloody savages!
A pity your hunt leads you elsewhere. Not that I am surprised. May you find joy in it. Grow stronger, more savage, and savor every triumph. In the meantime, I will reclaim that which is rightfully mine.
And that being the confirmation. In the midst of a requiem for heroes, a voice rings out across time and space. In fields of tranquil light, sow you seeds of darkness. That, of course, being a reference to the next expansion, Shadowbringers. And that is an expansion that we are going to see in late June. I do intend to do what I did last time and do a spoiler cast when the game launches for early access. So with that, there is one more thing that we're going to do here today. Let's make our way over to Kugane. Joey, so for myself, in terms of this series, I haven't actually started Hildebrand. But that is something, based on the timetable I'm looking at, and given the push I'm making with Phantasy Star currently, probably not going to be able to address that until after Shadowbringers comes out. But yeah, I'm really hyped for Shadowbringers, because it was so interesting seeing how, now that the full trailer for it has been released, and let me kind of do this here. Now that the full trailer's been released, we know basically that the world of the first is essentially based on what was known as Project Rapture, the early prototype for Final Fantasy XIV, even before 1.0 came out. And I have to give props to the speakers of Heidelin, Luke Keel, Gravestone, for all the work that he did in basically determining everything that was going on with this, looking back at what happened with the Red Mage image that was released for Stormblood, and the fact that the old Luminson building was there, the fact that traced back to the 1.0 trailer when 1.0 first came out, everything having to do with the lampposts, and everything that was going on with the Crystal Tower. It's really amazing, the job that they did, and I don't think I could have done a better job with it. But that at least gives us a lot of hints about what's going on. There has also been a lot of concern over the fact that the new races are going to be gender-locked, plus the fact that the new class is going to be tank and range DPS. And Yoshi P did an interview with Mr. Happy, 1227, I think, and it's over. I think it's over on. It's both here on YouTube, and it's also on the Final Fantasy XIV Reddit, I believe. If you have any questions, concerns about why those decisions were made, please check that out. Yoshi P completely explains what happened, why those decisions were made. So, it's time for everybody to move on about this. The decisions have been made. Frankly, myself, you know, Aura is nice, but I'd rather have a full-scaled character here. So I was hoping for a Banga or a Mamulja or something like that. But maybe that'll happen in the future. Anyway, there's one more thing we're going to be doing here today, and that we're going to be speaking to the East Aldernard Trading Company assistant here. And you weren't able to see the whole thing that happened here because of how slow it was in the build-up to this. Let's see. If I go under here, Reputation. So, I am Bloodsworn with the Namazu, the Ananta, and the Kojin. Each of them had their own little storyline. The Namazu were about setting up a festival to ensure that their people survive. The Ananta, it was all about setting up the front that was on the bridge over in... where was that again? Over in the Fringes. And then the Kojin, it had to do with the doll that came alive and essentially teaching the one Kojin that you were leading kind of how to lead his people, in a way. Now, with all of those completed, we now have what's called the Beast Tribe Unity Quest. And it starts right here, and it's basically going to bring all of them together. The Ananta Maid's Tale. Ah, Master Brightstar. Hancock sent me to look for you. I'm glad to have found you so close by. He said he needs to meet with you, but wasn't clear on the details. I suppose he'd rather explain it to you in person. Would you mind taking a moment to speak with him? He's over at the harbor. Thank you. Just make your way over to Pier number 2, if you please. I'll let Hancock know he can find you there. Alright, so we will make our way over to Pier 2. And here is the destination. Prince, my friend, good to see you again. Thank you for coming to meet me, though I confess that I knew you would. You are such an agreeable sort. Always ready to help your friends and close acquaintances. There's no need for such facial exertion. My request is a straightforward one. As it happens, I've been asked to escort a few members of the Alamegan resistance on a tour of Kugane. It seems they are interested in seeing the fortifications that have allowed Hingashi to survive as an isolationist nation for so long. I've never met them, and it occurred to me that the presence of someone such as yourself, who has an established rapport with the Resistance, might smoothen our introduction. What say you? Right you are, my bosom companion. Good to hear, particularly as they'll be here any moment. By my estimation, they should be disembarking just about now. Aha, and right am I. Esteemed members of the Resistance, welcome to Kugane. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Hancock of the East Aldernard Trading Company, and I will be your guide to this fair city. I appreciate your coming to meet us. I'm Alpa, captain of the Villadina Gatekeepers. And I'm Joel Hillman, Alpa's second in command. Pleasure to meet you. Is that you, Prince? Fancy meeting you here of all places. What a pleasant surprise. Are you here to show us around? Now that is an exceptional proposal, Miss Alpa. I'm certain the two of you would feel more at ease seeing the city with someone you know. Don't you agree, Prince? Sounds good. In that case, I shall leave the role of guide to you. Meanwhile, I can secure accommodations for our guests. I get the feeling you didn't have much choice there. Sorry about all this. Don't worry. If it's alright, I'd like to visit the castle first. I'm eager to see its fortifications. It's beautiful. It does look nice, but I can't imagine it's much use as a fortress. Too decorative. What unusual attire. I can see you are not native to Kugane. May I ask where you hail from? By the Kame, that tale is real? Are you a mermaid? Don't be absurd. I'm no mermaid. I'm an Ananta. There are many like Alpa in Alamigo, our homeland. There is no need to be alarmed. Ah, so you are of a Western race, then. Pardon me, I jumped to conclusions. It can be somewhat dull guarding the gate here, particularly as only an utter fool would try to break in, so I sometimes let my imagination get the best of me. It's alright. No offense taken. But if you have a moment, would you mind telling us more about this castle? I'm curious as to how a single guard at the gate is sufficient to keep it secure. Of course, I'm no expert, but I will gladly teach you what I know. Consider it an apology for my rudeness. The central keep that towers above us is of a complex and strategic make, incorporating myriad defensive elements. As you can see, the most prominent part of the facade features regular openings from which to unleash a veritable hail of arrows, or musket rounds. We call these sama, and they make it nigh on impossible for an enemy to approach from the front. Similarly, those unlucky souls who attempt to scale the walls are like to be met by tumbling boulders or boiling oil released by those manning the many breaches. Should one somehow manage to infiltrate the castle proper, he will find it a trial to get out again, for the pathways inside are a maze-like by design. Think someone could be so elegant in both form and function. I'm impressed. All that said, the castle has been taken before. Not too long ago, an unscrupulous sort named Kageyama and his underlings managed to sneak in during one of the Bugyo's galas, taking advantage of the stream of people entering the castle. Which mainly goes to show that all the clever defenses in the world mean nothing if you fail to check who's coming through the front door. A most instructive tale. Thank you. I had a feeling I would find you here. Your accommodations are ready. Since your journey was a long one, I recommend that you stop for a soak in Kugane's famed hot springs before you continue your sightseeing. I can personally vouch for their efficacy in soothing body and soul. In that case, how could we refuse? That's settled then. Just make your way to the Bokairo Inn at your leisure. I must return to the Ruby Bazaar, but I've ensured that you will find everything in order. My first Hingen Hot Springs. I hope you join us, Prince. She really is a fairy tale mermaid come to life. The other bathers are in for a surprise. So let's hit one of the aetheryte shards over here, and we'll make our way over to the inn. This inn is spectacular. I've never seen anything like it. And to think that we can just go right in. I wish I could show it to Gales, though it might be safer not to. Anyway, Jolhyun went inside to change ages ago, but it doesn't seem like she's coming out anytime soon. She does wear an awful lot of armor. Why don't we have a look around while we wait for her? There's no harm in that, right? Alright. Seeing it has only made me want to get in more. Jolhyun wouldn't mind if we meet her in the water, right? Right, so let's go. Unless you need some time to change into your bathing suit as well. I hear it's customary to wear one, at least in Kugane. Let me see if I've got anything on me that would work. Alright, let's go with this. So let's go ahead and enter the hot springs. This feels wonderful. I'm so glad we came to Hingashi. It's nice to properly relax once in a while. Look there! Is that a mermaid? That tail, those scales. Unmistakably a mermaid. I can't believe they've been real this whole time. And right here in our hot springs. This is ridiculous. I'm clearly no fish. I suppose people who have never seen an Ananta just don't know what else to make of you. Well, I never. Mermaids in the bath. Did someone say mermaid? What's this, a seeker? And one with most unfortunate features at that. Not as unfortunate as your manners, and I would say something about the creepy mask, but I reckon the face beneath is even worse. Now, am I meant to believe that you don't recognize me? Naza's job? You certainly have the look of an Eorzean. But perhaps my legacy has not yet reached whatever drab little corner of the realm you call home. Yes. On closer inspection, I can see that our Far East friends simply mistook serpent for fish. Not that it matters for my purposes, of course. I can hardly believe that I came upon a convincing substitute so soon. That's enough of your leering. What are you doing? Get your hands off me! Alpa! I swear, you masked maniac, if you've done something to Alpa... It's funny. I thought only to make a bit of coin on my travels through this foreign land, but it seems the Beastmen and I are simply meant to be. In any case, I'll be helping myself to this one. I welcome a challenge, so feel free to hunt me down, if you can. So, Alpa's been captured. Let's get our regular clothes back on. Hell's take that Naza. And what is he anyway? I can't believe he managed to snatch Alpha right from under us. No, now's not the time. Our first priority needs to be tracking them down. Thankfully, if the locals' reactions so far are anything to go by, I'm sure they stood out. We can start by asking around. So we are searching for witnesses. Here we go. A Mikote, ma'am? I'm afraid I don't quite know what you mean. Oh, right, I'm talking about someone with ears like mine. Male. A bit odd in the facial area. He might have been behaving strangely too. Does that ring a bell? Ah, so you folks are called Mikote. I've seen quite a few of you around Kugani of late, and there was a man fitting that description over by the short pier when I passed by not too long ago. I guess we're headed seaside then. Thank you for your help. Up there, it looks like. Or no, down here. This is not what I was expecting, in a variety of ways. Now that we've found him, I suppose we ought to make sure he doesn't die. We're going to need him to wake up first, though. I don't know, maybe poke him in the face? So then, where's Alpa? And you're sure he's not already dead? In that case, we'll have to get creative. I have just the thing. Well, he does, anyhow. Just as I thought. He never leaves home without his Mark XIV grenades. What is that, 42 grenades? I assume he took the time to remove some of the powder after his prior experiences, so they should be safe enough. Lob one in his general direction, wouldn't you? Would you? I'll stand back a bit, just in case. Arg! I believe I at last truly grasped the meaning of the phrase, a rude awakening, which is to say, ow. Oh wait, this isn't the guy from before. This is someone that we met over in the Fringes that was trying to become leader of his tribe, I believe. Make no mistake, I am delighted to see you, Prince, but I would appreciate it if you would put a little more thought into your method of greeting next time. I was having such a nice dream, too. Can't say I expected quite the large of an explosion. I thought for sure you'd remember to take the powder out this time. But why are you here anyway? Gah! Jolim! Your attire is rather less present than usual. Ah, now that you mention it, I did forget to put my uniform back on, didn't I? More importantly, though, we have a serious problem on our hands. Mazette, are you listening to me? Yes, I'm listening, and definitely making a normal amount of eye contact. But never mind that. Alpa's been kidnapped. I saw her being carried away by a man with the most peculiar mask. You saw him? Yes, as it happens, I stowed away on your ship to get here, and that went perfectly smoothly. Thank you very much, until you two disembarked and ran off, leaving me without a clue where to go. As I was wandering about aimlessly as one does, I saw the masked man with Alpa in tow. I called out to them, and he hit me, without so much as a warning. Before I fully lost consciousness, however, I witnessed something vital. He and Alpa boarding a small boat. I'm positive they were headed out to sea. Then there's not a moment to waste. We'll board a ship at once. You too, Mazette. Of course, I would never abandon Alpa in her time of need. In fact, I shall begin scanning the seas in search of any passing vessel that can carry us away right away this moment. Feel free to, say, put on a coat while I do. I'll agree to that one. It's raining now. You don't want to catch cold. Alright. Ruby seas under ruby skies. Just wait till I get my hands on that NASA job. At least we have some idea where he's heading with Alpa, thanks to Mazette. I've decided to reward him by not punching him into the sea, even though he's making it very tempting. More importantly, where do you reckon we should start our search? They likely passed by the ruby price. Well, what are we waiting for? It's true. They would have needed to pay the tithe if they were noticed. Jolhoon, where are you going? Alright, and so we are being led out to the Ruby Sea. And let's make our way over to there out of Kugane. Right, now that we're here, let's split up and ask whether anyone has seen a masked Mikote and a mermaid about. An excellent plan. Ah, it's nice to have everything back to normal. This had better not be about my attire again. If you hadn't noticed, Alpa has been kidnapped by a masked maniac, so go find some eyewitnesses before I change my mind about drowning you. I never get to tell her that her swimsuit was fetching, but at least I managed not to make a fool of myself. Alright, so we need to find people to talk to. A man wearing a sinister mask. He certainly hasn't passed through here, I would know. I've been looking for suspicious persons to fire at all night. A suspicious man with a mermaid? Ha ha ha, very funny, you Westerners and your jokes. Any luck? You too, huh? Seems we've hit a dead end here. I haven't the slightest idea what to do now, though. Wah! What has he gotten himself into this time? Come on, Prince! What is the meaning of this? First you burst out of the water like some sort of sea monster, and now you threaten me with a blade? I don't even know who you are, or what you are. You know not what you stole from me, but you shall come to regret it. Tsukumo is most precious than any treasure. Return him at once. Help me, Prince. I'm being beset by this, turtle? Man? Turtle Man. Prince, what an odd coincidence. Good to see you, Kabuto. Or not a coincidence at all, since you two seem to know each other. In which case, you have my apologies. I should not have drawn my blade without preamble. Think nothing of it. As the future leader of the M tribe, I was not at all alarmed by your sudden, menacing advance. Not in the least! I'm Mazettia, by the way, and any friend of Prince's is a friend of mine. I am honored to meet you. My name is Kabuto, and I lead the Blues Divine Circle. The name's Joholmnin. I'm with the Voldina Gatekeepers in Alamigo. Can I ask why you were on the point of skewering Mazet? Ah, in my haste I unfortunately mistook him for a thief who recently snatched Tsukumo from my helmet. What precisely is this Tsukumo? You seem rather keen on getting it back. Tsukumo is my dearest companion and guide, who once walked beside me as a Kakuri puppet blessed with a soul. He is now present only as a materia, but continues to watch over me. Wait, wasn't Naza holding something that looked an awful lot like materia when we saw him at the hot springs? Could that have been Tsukumo? If so, it would mean that he robbed Kabuto before kidnapping Alpa, and that we almost certainly won't find him on the Ruby Sea. But why not? If it were me, I wouldn't want to risk my prize being retaken by its rightful owner, and fending Kabuto off would be a sight more difficult with Alpa in tow. I'd put money on Naza having made for land as quickly as possible. A reasonable conclusion, assuming he was headed for Othard. The most direct route would have taken him through the village of Isari. To Isari we go then. We'll follow your lead, Kabuto. And so that takes us to the western side of the map. This will take a minute. Just about there. But it looks like they might be headed for Yangsha. What a charming little fishing village. With that, we were here for some relaxing sightseeing. But we have a villain to catch and captain to save, so let's get to it. Meet me back here once you've gathered as much information as you can. Joey, to answer your question, something that's kind of caught my eye regarding Gunbreaker and what Yoshi P has spoken about it, is that it doesn't seem like it's going to play like how Squall did in Final Fantasy VIII. It's going to be a little bit different from that. And it almost kind of makes me wonder, with the way that Thancred basically reloaded bullets inside of it, it almost makes me wonder if it's actually going to be more of a throwback to an old Final Fantasy anime that came out about, I want to say maybe 10-15 years ago, called Final Fantasy Unlimited. And in that, there was a character by the name of Kaze, and the way his class worked is basically he fired bullets from a gun, and that basically created summons. So I'm wondering if maybe that will be in play for the Gunbreaker. Not seeing anybody over here. As for Dancer, it's nice to have another ranged DPS finally, because there's only been the two, the Bard and the Machinist, so it's nice that they're kind of balancing that out now. We might get another potentially in the next expansion as well, but we'll see. I think after what's happened here, though, we might also get a fourth healer with that. So we'll have to see how things play out. Anyway, here's someone to talk to. A suspicious man and a mermaid with him? No, there aren't many suspicious sorts coming around our little village, and you'll pardon me for saying so, but it don't seem likely that a mermaid would keep such company. Oh, and this little guy here, yeah, this little gremlin here is he was given away for pre-ordering Shadowbringers, so it's I was kind of hoping he was going to say something today, but I guess we really haven't reached that point of the story just yet. I haven't seen your mystery man, but I can tell you that the mermaids have been a subject of some discussion around here as of late. You see, local legend has it that somewhere out there, far from the sight and grasp of the ordinary man, are what we Hingans call the Three Wonders, mermaid's flesh being one. It is said to grant it life eternal, but be that for better or for worse. A few moons past, a young lady, born to one of Kugane's oldest and wealthiest families, proclaimed that, should any gentleman presume to ask for her hand in marriage, she would accept nothing less than all three wonders as a dowry. It's a fool's errand, certain enough. We Hingans love our fairy stories as well as any folk, but we know the three wonders are no more than fantasy. You have to admire her clever ploy to remain unwed, though, which is why it's the talk of the land. So then the question is, what is the third of the treasures? Because we can assume that it's some sort of crystal that is the second wonder. Now there's supposed to be one more. Here we go. I just didn't see him. A masked man carrying a mermaid? Frankly, I'm not even sure I could imagine such a sight, and I certainly haven't witnessed it. I did see a man with a curious mask, though. He made landfall in a small boat, and I assume departed on foot soon thereafter. As I haven't seen him since, I'd wager he made for the Azim Steppe or Yangsha, like most who pass through here. Alright, let us report back. Now that we're all back, let's share what we learned. Hopefully between the four of us we'll have heard enough to go on. So Naza was indeed sighted. No one can confirm which direction he departed in, and if your source is correct, Alpa is no longer with him. Did he stash her somewhere before landing on Isari, and where is he now? The Three Wonders may provide a clue. According to folklore, the treasures are Merflesh, the Jewel of Fair Souls, and the Philosopher's Fin. I shudder to think of the young lady being forced to marry Naza of all people. But based on his thefts so far, it does seem like he is collecting the wonders, or treasures with passing similarity to them at least. Makes me wonder if he was a former fiancé, or someone that sought her love. Indeed, if Tsukumo is his substitute for the Jewel of Fair Souls, and your Alpa is meant to be the source of Merflesh, that leaves only one. Flesh certainly implies a level of dismemberment that I'm not comfortable with. We have to stop him. Yes, I realize that. If you have any brilliant ideas as to how, now's the time. We can't allow him to stay one step ahead of us. We can say with some certainty that Naza has made for either Yangsha or the Azim Steppe, where he can only be up to no good. But it is also likely that Alpa has been imprisoned somewhere between here and Kugane, so which should we seek? I would be happy to ask the other members of the Divine Circle to search for your friend. There are no finer seekers of treasure on the Ruby Sea, and it would free us to continue tailing the thief. Well, I would prefer to see Alpa's safety myself. I cannot deny that I'm in a distinct disadvantage in these lands. It probably would be better to leave the search to those more familiar with the area, while we pursue Naza. He's after the what was it now? Philosopher's Fin, correct? If our assumptions are right, that's the only one left, and we know he's not too particular as to whether he lays hands on the real thing. Prince, do you have any idea of what could pass for a Philosopher's Fin at a glance? A Fin from Segetsu, the Enlightened? He sure talks enough. A Namazu who speaks, and articulately at that. Yes, he does sound like a prime candidate. However, one could easily call all of the Namazu who have mastered the common tongue Fin philosophers. We cannot count on our villain to be so selective, nor do we know if he makes for Doro Ilo, or rather Yazuka Manor. Well, if potential Fin philosophers can be found in either location, I suppose we'll have to split up and cover both. I'll take Yazuka Manor. Mazet can come with me, if only so I can keep him from accidentally injuring anyone, himself included. Anyway, I'm sure the locals will be able to point us in the right direction. Then we will hasten for Doro Ilo. I only hope that we arrive in time. Indeed, let us teleport over to there. Continuing on real quick, I'll probably work on leveling Gunbreaker after going through through Shadowbringers and getting through some of the first parts of the endgame content. I had heard word of the festivities taking place here, but I wasn't aware they were so extraordinary. By the big one, our comrade in Fins, you are here to assist with our new project, yes? Our latest, greatest event? I interpret that as, I haven't the foggiest idea of what you speak. So allow me to explain thoroughly. We are currently planning our most ambitious event to date, an exceedingly cultured performance based on the beloved carol of Eld, Great Kings of Orient. We have spread word of our upcoming masterpiece far and wide, from Kugane to Yangsha, so doubtless a great many will be in attendance. By the by, sir, it is rare to see one such as yourself here on the steppe. Am I correct in assuming that you are an ambassador of the Kojin tribe? And how might I address you? My name is Kabuto. I am indeed a Kojin of the Blue, and the leader of the Divine Circle. We typically pursue treasure, but our quarry today is a villain whom we suspect is searching for the Philosopher's Fin. We have traveled here to stop him before anyone comes to harm. Oh ho! Are you perchance speaking of the Philosopher's Fin as detailed in new records of ancient matters? One of the three wonders? Fascinating! But why seek it on the Azam steppe? I am quite certain the records make no mention of location. Ah, so naturally, having spoken to Prince, you concluded that I would most readily be identified as the source of the requisite Fin, esteemed as I am. Indeed, there could hardly be a more obvious choice for Fin Philosopher. Wait, I seem to recall from our many discussions that the Philosopher will not be played by you, Gyofu, Segetsu, the Enlightened. We decided on Gyore for that role, remember? And we already made the costume to fit her. The role of Philosopher. Perhaps we should hear more of this new event of yours. Oh, very well. In our upcoming performance, we reenact the journey to the west, made by 3 kings in days of yore. Yorei has been chosen to dress as the Philosopher King. One would think that the Namazu best suited for said role would be I, Segetsu the Enlightened, most erudite and learned among us, renowned author of A Meditation on the Metaphysics of Merrymaking, but Gyoshin continually insists. That's it! Nazas must have heard about the performance, and learned that it would include a philosopher. That is why he made for the Azim Step. If he knows that she has been selected for the role of Philosopher King, Yorei will be in grave danger. Where is she now? If I recall correctly, she spoke of traveling to the Dawn Throne to retrieve ritual offerings from the Ornir stock. We've been running low as someone keeps partaking without authorization. Then we must make for the Dawn Throne at once. With me. I was not really following that, no. But I am most confident that Gyorei's fins should remain attached to Gyorei. She needs those. It is all well and good for Gyoshin to sprint off to big one knows where, but it is hardly advisable for me to leave the festivities unsupervised. I will remain here and inform Gyorei of the situation should she return. Alright, let's make our way over to the Dawn Throne. I will protect Gyorei's appendages, yes. Goodness, how kind of the Ornir to share so much food with us. It will take more than a few Namazu to eat through all this, thankfully. Oh, hello. Can I help you with something? Yes? I'm supposed to believe that's the face of a philosopher, but I suppose a fin's a fin, and the client won't know any better, so in you go. What is the meaning of this? Let me out! Oh no! Stop! He really was after Gyorei's fins, and now he has both of them! He put her in a barrel! The horror, the indignity, what do we do? We should speak with our comrades at Yakuza Manor. They need to hear this, and may have an idea of where Naza would take his ill-gotten treasures. Can you contact them, Prince? Nothing to report here. Have you had any luck? He's kidnapped a Namazu named Gyorei? That's not good. He's got all 3 of the wonders in hand then. But if we are to assume that his sudden quest for the 3 wonders and the young lady's wedding dowry are connected, There's a good chance he would revisit Kugane at some point, whether to present the items to her, or to her would-be suitor. He would have to retrieve Alpa beforehand, of course, meaning that we finally have a chance to get ahead of him. We can return to Kugane first, and be ready to snare him when he arrives. Let's rendezvous at Kugane. At, say, the Bokairo Inn. I'll see you there. What did Jolan suggest? Lay a trap in Kugane? It could work, but we will need to return post-haste. We should tell Sagetsu the Enlightened first. I am sure that he will have many thoughts on the situation, maybe even a helpful one. Very well, we will speak with him before we depart. He is doubtless worried about Gyore, and it would be unkind to leave him wondering. Alright, let us speak to Gyoshin. I will find Sagetsu the Enlightened and be right back. Gyoshin has apprised me of the ill news, and you intend to apprehend the culprit in Kugane? If we travel fast enough, we should succeed in reaching the city before Naza job does. I always have many travel hammer, travel awl, travel spinning wheel, and travel anvil packed just in case. I am most prepared. Ready to go, yes. The sack will be a tight squeeze for both of us, but if you put Sagetsu in head first, and me in tail first. Stop right there, Goshin. Exactly what are an artisan and a member of the literati meant to do against an opponent who has foiled even Prince. For us to blunder in without a stratagem would be a height of folly. No, you two ought to journey ahead to Kugane, lest Naza arrive sooner than expected. Meanwhile, I shall devise an infallible plan based on the principles laid forth in the Smart of War. We shall join you anon. I do not know what those principles are. Not even a little bit. No. But I will join you if you think it will help get Gyore back. What could he be plotting? Nice one on the quest name there, by the way. Alright, let's speak to Kabuto and move on. What a wonderful world. It might serve us to have a clearer idea of Sagetsu the Enlightened's plan, but we can wait no longer to depart. Come, we should hasten to the Bokairo Inn. So to Kugane we go. You two made good time. We left for Kugane just after I spoke with you, and only arrived a short while ago ourselves. Have you been able to learn anything of Naza? We were successful in returning to Kugane ahead of him, though not by much. He's already made port. We saw dock workers hauling a large barrel and squirming sack from his skiff, under his close watch, unfortunately. So whatever his plans are, they are likely already in motion. The prisoners! Where has he sent them? There's a large vessel docked at Pier 1. It seems Alpa and Gyore have been taken aboard. I have Mazette keeping an eye on the situation. I saw that ship when we arrived. It's unmistakably the Kuroboru Maru, if I recall correctly. The merchant Kageyama purchased it for a hefty sum some time ago. Kageyama, you say? And who might that be? A man easily as vile as Naza Job himself. He once conspired to take Kugane Castle, holding the Bugyo hostage as he made ludicrous demands. Though thwarted, he used his wealth and influence to escape justice. He has taken to using this tactic recently, it is said, in pursuit of a bride, spending more gil than most ever will see in his attempt to snare the perfect woman. A bride, Well, I think we found Naza Job's esteemed employer. Hello, Prince. It is I. You know, your favorite Mikote. Dashing good looks, ladies' man's, future nut of the M-Tri? Yes, well, I'm afraid that we have a problem. One that requires your immediate attention. That's why I contacted you. It's vital that you hear this as soon as possible. I've been dutifully keeping watch of the Kuroboro Maru, and Alpa and the Namazu have just been brought out on deck. We don't have much longer until our mermaid becomes mermaid's flesh. I would love to continue this little chat we're having, but I'd rather think you should come to the harbor right away. Was that Mazette? We gotta move. This is our last chance, then. We must stop Naza once and for all. Alright, so where in the harbor are they? Over there, so Pier 1 sounds like that would take us there. Looks like they're upstairs this time. There you are. We must hurry. Alpa is a dear friend, and I won't have her turned into mince by some scheming and rather unattractive, I must say, villain. Merflesh. The Philosopher's Fin. And the Jewel of Fair Souls. With this she can no longer deny me, and what a pretty thing she will be beside me at our matrimonial feast. I can taste it now. I couldn't possibly care less about what you intend to do with the goods, so long as I am fairly compensated. And speaking of payment, I think it's time that we finish up here. I need only carve the meat. Not a chance! Finally caught up, have you? Though I doubt you have much more to offer this time around. John! That was sturdy. What, afraid you couldn't defeat her in a fair fight? I merely prefer to spend my time on foes that are actually worthy, or at least suitably entertaining. But if any of you believe you will present a greater challenge, then by all means. Very well. I will defeat you myself, and have you return Tsukumo here and now. I see them. They are most visible. Ramming speed! Yes, yes! Well, that's one way to do it! That whistle, it's the Seke Segumi. Pity. I was just beginning to feel a twinge of excitement, but I see I must take my leave. Farewell, Eastern Beastmen. This little chase has been most amusing. Perhaps you may entertain me again someday. Not this time. As the future nun and a friend of Johannes and Alpa both, I cannot let these crimes go unanswered. Trust me, sometimes you have to learn the hard way. How to treat a lady. Seven hells! It's a dud! Oh, now we find the one with no powder. So much for your parlor tricks. So much for your boat, pal. Okay, what is this getting at here? Now we only need ensure that Kageyama meets with justice at the hands of the Sekkei Tsugumi. That may pose a problem. Where has that eel slipped off to? He makes for Kogane Dori. Prince, with me. We can meet at the Bokairo Inn afterwards. I will carry the wounded there. We're counting on you. Joey, if you're just getting back, you've missed quite the number of events here. I would recommend after the show you look back in the timeline. You need not push yourself, Alpa. I have only just been freed from what must have been a very trying ordeal. I'll be fine. As captain of the Villadina Gatekeepers, I can't let evil go unpunished. There! What? How did you... Well, no matter. You may have followed me this far, but no further. Pumpers of Kugane, behold my loose change. Woo, free money! Pardon me, sir, but if you could move a bit to the left. Ma'am, it is imperative that we capture this villain. They're not listening. Just look at them scrounging at my feet. It pays to be wealthy. Please leave this to me. You're wasting your time, little mermaid. I'm a master of monetary manipulation, and no one is easier to control than coin-starved commoners. What is the meaning of this? Oh, cruel fate, why do you mock me so? Well done, but why a fish? I saw on the Namazu's strange contraption earlier. It was so cute, I just couldn't stop thinking about it. I don't even like fish. I believe it is time that you accepted your fate. Yes, I think that's quite enough escape attempts for one day. You've made it perfectly clear who the villain is here. Right, my Sekkei Tsugumi friends? You can't do this to me! I have a woman to coerce! A matrimonial banquet to consume. It seems the matter is resolved at last. Shall we go and inform the others? So once again, we make our way over to the inn. Looks like the nearest Aetheryte is going to be over here. The innkeep was kind enough to call a doctor, but it seems that no one has more than minor injuries. And apparently there is no better treatment for scrapes and bruises than the Bokaisen Hot Springs. I guess we'll just have to visit them again. Hang on. Let's do this right. To the hot springs. Let's continue where we left off before we were so rudely interrupted, shall we? I'm so sorry, Alpa. What? You have absolutely nothing to apologize for. Not now, not ever. It's my duty to protect you, and I failed utterly. Then it took so long to free you, and I couldn't even manage that without help. Maybe not, but the rescue wouldn't have succeeded without your leadership. Not to mention how you saved me from being sliced in two. You may not be able to do everything yourself, but I couldn't ask for a better second in command. Alpa, I thank you. I'm grateful to everyone else too, of course. Prince Kabuto, Gyoshin, Hold on, where is Mazet? Maybe he's still changing? Ah! Never fear, it is I, Mazet. I discovered this floating in the sea after Naza's disappeared. How do I look? Rakish? I'm throwing that back in the sea and you along with it! Just when you think he's learned something. If I may ask, Gyoshin, how did you know to find us on the Kuroburo Maru? It was easy to spot you from above. I knew that stuffing the Mikoshi with all the cloud's breaths in our stores was the right choice. Yes, yes. My, how convenient. And I'm glad that you made it out safely too, Gyorei. Thanks to all of you, being trapped in a barrel was harrowing, and fraught with splintery peril, yes, yes, but it was worth it for a chance to enjoy these hot springs together. If you say so. What is that gem in your helmet? It is most unusual, quite unique. This is the soul of my dear friend Tsukumo, more valuable than any treasure in the whole of the Ruby Sea. He is what Naza stole from me, and I am truly grateful to you for helping me retrieve him. As Gyorei said, despite our tribulations, I feel fortunate to have met you all. I hope that we can continue to strengthen our friendship now that we're all safe and sound. Then please come to our festival. Yes, yes, we can strengthen our friendship and all of our assorted limbs by carrying a Mikoshi together. And if you're ever in Eorzea, come to Alamigo. The Villadina gatekeepers will give you the grand tour, and you can stay at the Castellum. Alright, that is complete, and with that we are learning gratuity. You have achieved allied reputation with the Kojin, the Vira, and the Namazu. Furthermore, you now have access to a wider selection of wares from Shikitai, Madhura, and Yosho, as well as the emote gratuity. Through your efforts, the most prominent beast tribes of Alamigo and the Far East have forged bonds of friendship that promise to remain strong through the years. You are a hero to beastmen across many realms. Alright. And so with that, let's make our way over real quick to Tamamizu. I want to take a look at what we've actually earned here, in terms of what we can purchase now. I don't think there's going to be a new mount or anything like that. It's probably just going to be like a couple of items or something like that. Oh, and let's take a look at that gratuity. Okay, that's kind of fun. Alright, let's take a look at the exchange. Do I have these minions? Let me take a look. Doesn't look like it, so these must be the rewards. Okay, so there's the redback. It's just a pillow? What a weird minion. Ah. And it doesn't seem like it even follows me around. Does it just stay in place? No, I think it actually just despawned, actually. Yep. I can at least say, sit. It is well documented that Hingans shun chairs, preferring instead to sit upon the floor. What is less known, however, is that when a speaker utters something deemed clever, she is rewarded with cushions that she may sit in a position elevated above her peers. Alright. Let's see what else we got. Doro Illo. So they are selling a Namazu mask now. And as well as a Big One Festival float. Okay. Let's take a look at the mask. Actually, is this even gonna show? This is in the armory chest. Oh, there it is. How did I not see that? Yeah, I gotta turn on my helmet. There we go. But ultimately, it's just a mask. It doesn't really do much for me. And let's check the last one over in Gurabanya. I don't know, it's one of the rewards! But I could see people doing glamour with it going forward, so we might see a bunch of those in Shadowbringers. I'll try to stay ahead of the crowd like I did last time. I think they had the false nails last time. Yeah, so I think it's going to be these two that are new. So there is the wind-up Kalyana. So there's the new furnishing. And then there was one other thing that we got. Indoor furnishings. Yanata Metalworks. Well, that doesn't even fit there, but it will fit up here, it looks like. Just barely. The wall is basically keeping that thing up. All right. And so with that, we come to the end of Stormblood proper. Now I know, there's this image of these two in the corner. We have yet to experience their adventures here on this channel, and it is something that I do intend to get to eventually, but as I mentioned earlier, that may not happen until after Shadowbringers releases. But whenever it does happen, I can't wait to present that content to you. With that, our time here in Stormblood has come to a close, and I will see you all in June for Shadowbringers. If you've enjoyed today's content, please do make sure to subscribe and click the bell to be notified whenever I do go live or whenever I put out a new video. In addition to that, I also have a Discord. Link to that is in the description below. Thank you for joining me today. This is PrinceBrightstar signing off. I'll catch you next time.